Yeah! Woo! Saturday afternoons are all right for fighting, right? UFC Vegas 60 going down in a little while. Broadcast will start in about 18 minutes, but we lost a fight on the prelims. We know what's about to happen. We're going to be hanging out for a while until the first punch is thrown, but thank you for joining us. It's the People's Pre-Fight Show. I am Mike Heck. Casey Leydon, Badastash at MMA Media on the ones and twos in the building as well. We might have a third person joining us, but not 100% sure yet. We'll see what happens. Apologies for the late start time. That is 100% on this guy right here. I don't know how you all are. I didn't realize how difficult it is to not only buy a car, but shop for a car in 2022. It is very, very difficult. My wife and I have, for the last year plus, been able to get away with living life with just one vehicle. It's been beautiful. We're both working remote for a while, just needed the one car. Now my wife is not working remote. She has a new job that she has to travel to, and I'm basically imprisoned in my house until she comes back. So we're out trying to find her another vehicle. It is not fun. It is not easy, but apparently we have found the right one. She is closing out the old deal right now, apparently, and I'm back here talking with all of you. So it's People's Pre-Fight Show. Whatever you want to talk about, mostly about this card. I know this isn't the greatest card of all time, so if you got other things on your mind, we could talk about those as well. So get your comments, get your questions, get your thoughts in the chat. We'll pull them up. We will address until the first punches are thrown. So Casey, if you would be so kind.
All right.
Let's do the damn thing.
First question from Aang Moore.
I just explained it, so.
Come on, Aang.
I don't know what to tell you. Life got in the way. What can we do? We had child with us, so I can't be like, hey, Grayson, just wait for your mom to come back from the test drive. My grown 9-year-old couldn't do that. So
did you make a decision on the car? Is it done, or is it more still?
We're working on pricing. We went to one place, they literally had nothing. It was insane. And then we went to another place, tested one car. My wife liked it, and then me and my kid, who literally are playing NBA Jam and Mike Tyson's Punch-Out inside the dealership, so extra points for that.
Oh, that's cool.
And then my wife was just gone, and I was like, where did she go? And then we saw another vehicle pull in, and she got out of it, and she goes, this is the one. And she's like, after we close the deal, I can bring the car home today. So if you need to go to work, go to work. I said, okay, because I have to go to work. And here we are. So looks like she's finagling the deal right now. She's negotiating.
Doing the haggling. She's doing the haggling. You let her do it.
Dude, she's way better at that than I am.
Nice.
So.
All right.
Do you guys think the UFC's business model of just filling fight cards with contender series fighters is good or bad in the long run? What do they care? I mean, it doesn't matter. See, and this is the thing, and this is what Jed was talking about on the preview show yesterday. If you, the fans, think that, I mean, we're going to watch everything, right? We're going to watch everything. We're going to find the best in everything. But if you want more and you demand more, then let your voices be heard. Dana has said many times we're going to give the fans what they want, but if what you want is just whatever they give you, then this is what we're going to get. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that, but the UFC is going to get the same amount of money for this deal to put on this card, whether it's this card or they put Nick Diaz in the main event of a fight night card. It's all the same. It's all the same. So I don't think it's good or bad. I think it's fine. The UFC is just like, we're getting the same amount of money anyways. So, yeah, I mean, I don't think good or bad is the right answer. It's just what we have.
It's good for the UFC brand. That's what I think mostly. Yeah. It's good for the
and
UFC
their bank
brand.
Accounts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's what it is bad for. It is bad for regional MMA. It is.
It's tough.
It's it's just bad for regional MMA. It's a whole nother thing, but I don't know. I'm not a big fan of contender series. I like the format, but I don't like the business model. If you just go into pure action fights, cool. I don't like the reality show aspect of it. It's like I don't really like how Dana White picks his winners, or I don't understand that the whole like the Bo Nickel thing versus Danielle Wolf. Danielle Wolf gets to fight in the UFC. Bo Nickel doesn't. So there's a lot of issues of Dana White Contender Series, but as far as just fun fights to watch on a Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday evening, that's awesome. But in the bigger scheme of things, as far as like the mixed martial arts fight business, I don't know. But Contender Series does do a great job in production, and that's what I think Dana White and UFC has handled so well. They production wise, they treat the very first fight essentially production wise has well of as much detail as a main event of a pay-per-view. The same amount of cameras, the same amount of lighting, all that, the same announcers and everything. So, 2 5-5 guys fighting a Contender Series looks essentially the same like it has any other Apex fight. So that's everything looks professional. So that's good for fans, but yeah, it's a complicated question.
Yeah, it's kind of rough for regional promotions and fighters, but a fair share of those guys are getting on too. Like we just saw Don Shanis, who I'm very familiar with from the New England regional scene, just got outright signed essentially. I mean, it's kind of a short notice situation, but didn't need to go through the Contender Series. Going to fight Sodiq Yusuff in 2 weeks. Doesn't need the Contender Series for that or Ultimate Fighter or anything like that. He just got the call and he's in. So there's plenty of those guys too, but it's just unfortunate that the outright signings of regional talent are fewer and far between. It's mostly like, oh, damn, what are we going to do? We have the spot that needs to be filled. Who are we going to get? And then someone's like, oh, I can fight, even though it's 10 days from now. But that's how you get in. So, it's a different model.
Yeah, and hey, credit UFC for changing the game. They're definitely just changing how the business model works. But all right.
Casey been getting punched in the arms. Casey, take this solo for a second. I have to run out and help. I have to run outside for 1 second.
All right, it's just me now. No, these are grappling things. Just basically just holding me down by the biceps. I think this is under my gi. Like it was one of those just grabbing the gi and then just wound up pinching my arms underneath. So that's what happened. That's what happened right there. But I probably did get punched in the arms. So So we're gonna wait because we have Mr. Heck out for a few moments. So let me take some other questions. Should Aspen Lad get cut? I would say no, but she should never be allowed to fight at 135 in the UFC. And that is on the UFC. That is not on Aspen Lad. Aspen Lad's already laid out a clear history that she cannot make 135 consistently or safely. So why the UFC even booked her again at a 135 fight is a disservice to the fans and is a giant disservice to her opponent, the very professional, I think underrated, kind of awesome Sarah McMahon, who at 42 years old is a big bummer. She's 42, 41 years old. She's entering the last stages of her career, and to have a fight camp and all that stuff just drop out the last second because Aspen can't get anywhere near weight is a shame. And I put a lot of blame on the UFC, not just Aspen Lad, but the UFC for even booking that fight. So that's how that goes.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah, see what happens.
If she did get cut. She gets cut.
Yeah. I don't. Yeah. Oh, look who we have here. Look who this gentleman is.
Hey team, how's it going?
How's traffic?
Hi, Jed.
It was awful.
Oh.
Atlanta decided to really bring the thunder today. So sorry I'm late, but excited to talk about a wonderful fight card.
Yes. All right.
It's just the best.
Yeah. Yes or no question for you, Mr.
Yes.
Judd. Mr. Judd. Should Aspen Lad get cut?
Yeah.
Straight up.
I said this yesterday. Yeah.
Why do you think she should get cut? What?
Because
do
she
you
competes
put no blame
in a
on
weight
the
class
UFC?
the UFC doesn't support. she's a
there's no
featherweight,
45
and the UFC doesn't have a women's featherweight division.
But there's a champion at featherweight. How can they have no division? There's a champion at featherweight.
There is. It's a great existential question, and I don't have the answer for it. But they don't support it, so I don't think she will get cut. But I think they should just say, "Hey, we're done with this," and then she can go to PFL, and everybody wins.
Yeah, PFL or Bellator, honestly. Everyone wins. The fans win. Aspen Lad wins.
I mean, yeah, or Bellator's fine. They do have a featherweight division
And they
that
push
they
it.
actually
Yeah.
support.
Yeah. It's weird. All right.
Is Tanner Boser, Rodrigo Nascimento the bigger weight difference in biggest weight difference in UFC history? Tanner's 229, Rodrigo's 261.
Ooh,
I
Brock
think
and Randy had to be up there too.
I mean,
Yeah,
Brock
but I
would have
think
been right at 265, and Randy would have been in the 220s.
Yeah, I think Jailton Almeida, Pacaporta is.
I mean,
is
that's
in this
also a
conversation as well.
similar.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the biggest, but it's going to be one of those similar things, right? Like it's the same neighborhood. There's not going to be too many bigger if that's the case.
All right.
I have to look this
From
up.
from official weights, because like if you're talking, it's like there are dudes who cut to 265 that have been. I mean,
Brock
like
Lesnar.
yeah, Brock probably walked in that cage at 280 against Randy.
I'm betting the actual fight night difference. Probably Brock and Randy. I can't think of because Randy was essentially a 205.
Certainly feels likely.
I mean, we might have some Parker Porters in there, but I wouldn't count that as. That's just kind of technically that's weight, but not like real fight weight. Let's talk about these two gentlemen.
Does the Renzo Gracie BJJ streak continue? Piper and Sabatini up next.
What is this streak? Are the Renzo Gracie?
They're 13-0 or something like that.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I think it's high. I think it's actually higher than that. I think it's 15-0. Yeah.
They
Brady,
have not lost in the.
Yeah, it's Brady, Sabatini, Jeremiah Wells, and now Joe Piper's going to be a part of that.
Piper, yeah.
And who's the other one? Son of a biscuit. Another contender series.
Okay.
Man. The guy that Nick Maximov just lost to.
This is not. This is not where I excel.
Yeah.
I forget. I don't know why. Petrosky. Andre Petrosky.
Then when we say Renzo Gracie BJJ, are these guys just doing their grappling there, or is Renzo Gracie BJJ a full-on MMA gym? I just don't actually know too much about that.
Yeah.
When people say
Daniel Gracie is the head coach of that Philly crew.
I think it's a gym, but I'm not 1,000% sure. Okay. Like a full gym.
But Renzo Gracie isn't actually in Pfeiffer or Sabatini's corner, correct? It's just the name of the gym.
No, because that's
Daniel's, Daniel's the head coach.
That's Daniel, and it's in Philly. Isn't Renzo in Jersey? Around there?
Yeah, New York.
New York.
It's just it's just a subset
an affiliate
of Renzo Gracie. Yeah.
Oh, okay, so an affiliate. Okay, that's what I thought, because there's a Renzo Gracie out here. So I would mean Renzo Gracie out here. So I was just kind of
same with American Top Team and etc.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. But yeah, good on Renzo Gracie affiliate gyms. Good on them. That seem to be doing great. All right, what we got here?
Should the UFC make the women's 145-pound division actually matter? I've seen comments like "Cut Aspen Lad." She could be a 145 or struggling to make 135, especially after the comments from Sarah. I mean, I think we've addressed this ad nauseum at this point, but it's up to the UFC. Like, if the UFC wants to make this a division and actually take it seriously, then sure. But it doesn't seem like, outside of like the occasional weird matchup a la Norma Dumont, Danielle Wolf out of nowhere at UFC 279, and the occasional Amanda Nunes title defense, or short notice fight, we're not hearing anything about this division. Like, there's never, I don't think at any point has there actually been a ranking structure for women's 145 in the UFC.
They haven't had 15 people. They have never had 15 people that they could rank at that weight class.
And they had a tough season. And they had a tough season with women's featherweights. And anyone who was any good was just like, I'm just going to drop to 135. Mason Chiasson.
All of them were bantamweights that just didn't cut weight for tough.
Yeah, most of them were already bantamweights. They weren't even like featherweights that moved to bantamweight. They were like literally bantamweights.
Yeah,
it was
and it's tough, and it's hard to make weight a bunch if you're actually cutting to the weight class. Like, it was. Yes, the answer is they should do it. Certainly they should, because eventually they want to be in the Kayla Harrison business. But they're not going to, so it is what it is.
Yeah. And personally, I don't think they'll ever be in the Kayla Harrison business, because I just don't think they're going to pay her.
Seems unlikely at this point.
Yeah. They're not going to pay her what Bellator and PFL is going to pay her. So
this is a giant what if, obviously, but if Cyborg had beaten Amanda Nunes that night, what do you think the 45 division would be like? Do you think the UFC would actually be pushing a 45 division? Or since Amanda Nunes won that night, it would be the same?
Yeah.
If Amanda Nunes was just like, I'm glad to be the double champ, but now I'm just focusing on 135, we wouldn't be having this conversation right now. There would be no division. The division would have died that night. But
no,
she didn't. She wants to defend both titles. You think so? Even if she gave up the title and said, I'm just fighting at 135.
I mean, if she actively gave up the title, but they want to have two belts on her because it looks good on posters. Like, that's it. It's the entire
this is very
existence.
True.
It's the entire purpose of that division is they can put a second belt on her shoulder for posters. That's fine. I think we wouldn't have a 145 if Cyborg had won, because Cyborg would have stayed champion, would have stayed under contract. Eventually, Cyborg would have been frustrated by their inability to bring in people for her and would have wanted to part ways, and eventually, terribly acrimoniously, they would have done so. And as soon as Cyborg leaves with the belt, they just scrap the D. Like, it's just, we're done with the division.
Yep. I agree with that.
And honestly, that'd be way healthier. That'd be way healthier than this half-assed, not even half-assed, quarter-assed division that they have. Which is stupid. I genuinely don't know why they don't invest in the division. Like, it does not make sense to me. I cannot figure out a reason. I know that there aren't like a wealth of people to populate it, but you just start investing in it for real and treat it like a real thing the way you've done with every other division. And there's another title, like another actual title that you can have to fill up the 45 cards you owe ESPN a year. Like, there's no downside to doing it. And it boggles my mind why they're so like, whatever, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
I genuinely feel that way about 105. Like, there's no reason for them not to have an atomweight women's division for the same thing. Like, just if you build the divisions, the fighters will come, but you just have to actually try.
And 125, women's 125 is a great example. It was kind of considered this kind of basically a shit division since the UFC didn't have it. But once the UFC
it was a tweener division.
Yeah.
Exactly. It was a tweener division between two divisions that did exist. And then when they established it, some of the people who had a difficult time at 115 moved up. Some of the people who were a little too small for 35 moved down. It's a really good division now. Yeah. It doesn't get the credit it deserves because it has an incredibly dominant champion. But it's the same, like, build a 105 division, build a 145 division, give women 5 weight classes, men have 10. This seems incredibly straightforward and simple. So simple that literally a child could figure this out, and I got nothing on why they refuse to do it.
It is funny, the similarities between the start of the women's 125 and the start of the men's 125 in the UFC, in the sense that both were kind of considered kind of bad divisions only because the champions at the beginning were so freaking dominant. Like,
and
Demetrius Johnson might be the best flyweight ever, no matter what happens. No matter what happens, and when Valentina eventually leaves the sport, loses a fight finally at 125, she could be the best 125 ever. But yeah, it just started out such a dominant champion that people just. I've had a lot of blame in the UFC on that one because they just.
It's
as a
all
promoter.
tough. It casts a pall over the division. The UFC can't promote that well, and because the division is new, it's not like wildly deep, and that's really the biggest. That's the biggest promotional blocker, right? Is that it felt like Demetrius Johnson was beating nobodies because there were only like 25 dudes in the division, and so it feels really shallow, even though honestly, all of his wins are pretty damn good. Like they're all very good fighters. It's the same. Like yes, 145 feels kiddie pool shallow right now because it's not a real weight class in the UFC, and it would probably feel really shallow for like a couple of years. But if they just committed to putting resources, it's not even a lot of resources. It's just getting people. Then you have it, and then it's there, and then it will grow and build. Like it does not make sense to me why they are so whatever to it.
Yeah.
Do you know why the Giga match was canceled? Seems like no one is even mentioning that fight at all. Giga's hurt. He's out.
I don't even know.
He's
I don't
not
even know
fighting.
what fight that was.
What fight was booked?
He's fighting Sadiq Youssef on this
Youssef.
card.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
that would've
Giga's
been a
been
cool
out.
fight.
Would have been huge. It would have been, I believe it was the co-main.
Would have been
co-main
would
event.
have been the second best fight on the card, and it would have been a cool co-main.
Yeah,
That's a
Giga's
shame.
hurt. Youssef, they couldn't find an opponent for Sadiq, so now Sadiq's going to fight 2 weeks from today against a newcomer. He's fighting Don Shanis, the now former Cage Titans featherweight champion and FAC lightweight champion. Dude who's paid his dues, has a hell of a story too. Would have loved to have seen Shanis on the Contender Series just so they could tell his story the way that they tell all the stories, but I'll have Don on for something before he fights because I've talked to him a bunch of times.
Yeah. We can't poo-poo this card, but rightfully so. But yeah, but this card originally did have Giga versus Sadiq, Aspen Lad versus Sarah McMahon, which on paper should have been a good fight.
And by the way, a little trivia for you because this question was asked earlier. This card is a UFC record for most number of Contender Series alumni in a single event. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13 fighters on this card were on the Contender Series.
A record's going to be beaten probably consistently moving forward.
Yeah, that means
that's the world we live in now.
I know.
And by the way, this is unbelievable. We're already getting ready for the first fight. I didn't think this would happen, but
really?
we're already getting ready.
They do have 13 of them. They gotta move if they're trying to hit
is my
their
timer
windows.
off? I was just kind of guessing on the timer.
No, I think you're probably okay. They're just showing
Your
the
timer's
promo
probably
video.
going to be like right on the spot, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Hold on.
we're good.
Let me get the fight up on my other screen here.
Even dropping, if they had dropped a fight, your timer would be slow. But since we got rid of one of them, you're probably right on the money.
All right, cool. Where I lost my questions.
And for those wondering, it's the great Brennan Fitzgerald, Paul Felder, and Daniel Cormier.
Oh, nice. I like that.
So,
All right.
And
hopefully
it gets a week
Paul
off.
Felder is like the lead color guy and the interviewer. That's what I would like to see, but that probably won't happen. What would a loss mean for Cory Sandhagen?
This defining loss. Let's go first round knockout. So Cory Sandhagen gets knocked out in the first round.
Oh, he's super boned. I think he's
That
boned
thing.
anyway. We
That was
talked about
just
it a lot. I think he's screwed. I think he has to win this fight.
He will find himself in like the Jimmy Rivera role, which is a good place. Which is
wow. Ooh.
That's a tough.
no, I
role.
mean, yeah, but Jimmy was a ranked guy. He was a win away from fighting for the title before he lost to Marlon Moraes. And then he still had wins after that. It was just like sort of a fringe top 10 guy that won some and lost some. And yeah, it's just a tough spot to be in. And people like didn't complain about a Jimmy Rivera fight. They're like, oh, all right, Jimmy Rivera's fighting this dude or this dude. But that's kind of where he goes.
I'm not. I mean, barring he just looks outclassed by Yadong. I don't think this is as bad as I think Sandhagen can recover from this. He still can eventually fight for a title if he loses. Obviously, a loss sucks. He probably has to get two more extra wins, I guess, to get for that title, eventual title match. But yeah, I'm I think Sandhagen's just so dang talented. And if he loses to Song tonight, I think just Song is just really good. You know, I think he's funny. He just made those big leaps. Is that what you kind of talked about, Jed, yesterday? Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
If Song's made the leap, I got to see it. I think he has it in him, but he's still young, and maybe it comes this time. Maybe it comes a few fights later. If that's my contention though, is that if Song wins, it's because he made the leap. But if he made the leap, Cory Sandhagen's screwed, because then there are 4 dudes ahead of him that have all beaten him, and that probably isn't going to change. I mean, maybe the TJ Dillashaw he could beat a rematch, but I don't like his chances against any of the dudes outside of TJ Dillashaw in a rematch. So
yeah,
if he loses this fight, I don't think he ever fights for a belt again. Which
right.
he can still be a great fighter, but that's just where it is.
He's so far behind if he loses this fight. I mean, just infinitely behind. Not saying he's not talented enough to get back there, but he's going to have to win like 6 fights.
Man, he's lost 3 in a row. He's 31 years old at bantamweight. Like and
he's lost to 4 dudes ahead of him, like you said.
Yeah, and he has no window. Like you can't. People don't succeed in weight classes below 170 into their late 30s. It's just not a thing that happens every other day. So he has very little margin of error, and he needs to win this fight.
Yep, completely agree.
Who has hurt Sandhagen on the feet? Like really? Like is anyone like really?
No one hurt him.
Yeah, because I'm just like for Song to beat him, you would think that Song is gonna have to hit him really hard standing.
Yes.
And no one has really done that yet. So so if Sandhagen loses tonight, I think we're gonna see him lose in a way that we haven't seen before, most likely. So
I agree because I don't think Song's gonna like outwork him for 25 minutes. He's gonna hit him with a rocket launcher, and so yeah.
Yep. All right.
Yeah.
Fight's awesome. Stoked about the main event.
Yes.
Really good fight.
100%. It matters. This one truly matters.
It truly does.
All right. What do we got here?
Right.
What we got here?
We got one more. Otherwise, we'll just do quick predictions because they're about to do intros here for Nicholas Mota and Cameron Van Camp.
You know what? Yeah, let's go to predictions.
Bonuses, Jed.
Oh, let me look at the fight card. So you can go first, Mike, while I try and pull up the fight card because I don't have it in front of me.
Let me just pull up my predictions.
Fight of the night. Fight of the night's going to be main event. That's obvious. I'm going to go performance of the night for Gregory Rodriguez because I think he's going to submit Shadeen Jokwani. And second performance bonus will go to Joe Pyfer because he's going to do unspeakable things to Alan Amedovski, who is bad at fist fighting.
I definitely agree.
I don't think we're...
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I definitely agree with Pfeiffer because this is such a favorable matchup for him, and he's a Dana White guy, so they're definitely going to push all the marketing toward him. So Pfeiffer and fight of the night, I'm going to go main event. I just hope that fight rules. And the other performance, I'm going to take a chance and go with Loma. I think something vicious of elbows. I'm just taking a chance on that one. Taking a chance.
I love it.
Performance, I'm on Joe Pyfer as well. I will go with Cheedy. Fight of the night, I'm not going main event. Fight of the night, I'm going Cory versus Trevin Giles.
Oh. A little brawl.
I think it's going to be one of those fights where Cory is going to beat the holy hell out of Trevin Giles for like 6.5 minutes, and then Trevin's going to come back and finish him in the third. It's just going to be one of those like back and forth fights that we're going to be like, oh, DC is going to be laughing a lot. This is crazy. It's going to be one of those kinds of fights, so I'll go with that. All right. First fight's underway, but we'll do our predictions real quick. Let me pull it up. It's bad that I have to keep looking things up here. Anthony Hernandez. Yeah, Anthony Hernandez, MAB.
Hernandez decision. Just outworks
Same.
him. Probably can't find a finish.
Yeah, a fluffy decision. Yes.
Tanner Boser minus 180, Nascimento plus 155. I'm going Boser the quick finish here because I don't know why. I just think that time off has Tanner feeling all sorts of angry. So I think he gets him out quick with TKO. Casey.
Boser KO round 2. Speed kills. You'll get him.
Jed, I know you're on Nascimento for different reasons, which makes a ton of sense, by the way.
Nascimento round 1 sub, but I don't like it given Boser looks all sorts of fit now. But Boser coming in looking all swollen and stuff makes me regret the choice I already made.
Anybody not picking Joe Pyfer?
KO round 1, baby.
KO round 2. Casey?
Round 2.
Wow, you guys have seen how Namadovsky just get obliterated by people.
Yeah.
Joe Pyfer's going to kill him.
Pyfer's not the fastest starter in the world, but once he gets going, good night. Andre Feely, Bill Algeo, Casey.
I still believe in Andre Feely. I'm going on Feely decision. I'm a still believer.
Jed.
I don't believe in Andre Feely, but I think I'm taking him, but I have a lot of questions about it. My head says that he should win this fight, but I won't be at all surprised if I'm wrong. I have him by decision. Tackle him. Just tackle Bill Algeo a bunch. It's not that hard.
But he won't do that, so I'm picking Bill Algeo by unanimous decision.
That's the problem, is he probably won't. If you just tackled him, he'd be fine.
I got Cheaty, first round knockout. Casey.
I'm going RoboCop round 2 knockout. I think it's gonna be a great fight. I think it's gonna be really fun.
From a betting perspective, it's RoboCop all day, Jed. Go ahead.
RoboCop round 1 sub, baby.
Ooh, there you go.
This guy is a very good grappler, and if he gets Cheaty down, he's gonna do bad things to him.
Oh, but I do think it'll be ground and pound. I don't think it's gonna be a standing knockout. Sorry.
I assumed when you said knockout, it was not.
Yeah.
Not him chucking bits.
Anyone picking the upset? What's in the main event? Sandhagen minus 195, Sung Yadong plus 165. This is Sandhagen decision written all over it for me, but can you put him away, Casey? Is Cory Sandhagen getting it a finish tonight?
I like that small apex. I don't like the apex, but I like the small apex cage, and I'm picking Sandhagen by 4th round TKO.
Ooh, samesies. Song hasn't gone into championship rounds in like 10 years or something, back when he was just a wee pup. So I think Sandhagen is a snowball rolling downhill. He's going to add the damage up as we get into the championship rounds. I like his chances to maybe get a finish. I think decision's the smart one, but I took a bet on 4th round KO.
Yep.
So, things have happened.
Yep.
Yes.
A thing happened.
The thing happened. The
first fight is already over.
I want to see the thing that happened.
All right, we'll get Jed's reaction, then we'll hit the music.
Ow, that didn't look fun or comfortable.
Left hook, and shoots in for a desperation takedown.
Don't back up on straight lines. You're professional fighters. I genuinely don't understand it, man. Like, you never see, like, club level boxers don't back up on straight lines.
Oh,
like,
backed up with his hand down too.
Yeah, backed up, head chin up, hands down, straight line.
Hand down. Yeah.
Like, get off an angle, man. That's what happens when you don't have basic fundamentals of defense.
Yep, things fall. Yep.
There you go.
That's MMA, man. First one to make a mistake.
Yep.
You're done.
All right. And for those listening and have no idea what's going on, Nicholas Mota got the KO. All right. That's it. You can hit the music. We'll see you later on, everybody. Follow along, MMAfighting.com, if you guys have other things to do.
Great website.
If not, we can watch the cards.
Great website. It really is.
And we'll see you after for the post-fight show. For Jed, for Casey, I am Mike Cack. Thank you for watching. Apologies for being late, but we got 30-plus minutes in. So thank you all. Enjoy the fights, everybody.
Love you guys.
Happy birthday, AK.
Feliz cumpleaños, AK.